Hey, you. Yes, you. Want to hear a secret? Something that no one else is talking about? Well, you've come to the right place. GTA 6 has had a number of prominent and well-talked-about leaks relating to it. Everything about its proposed gameplay, protagonists, location, how the police work, and much more. There are some things that don't make the headlines, little nuggets of detail that have been left by the wayside. Here are those dainty little morsels of info about GTA 6 that you might have missed. Picking up items. Most games have some way of letting the player know if an item is intractable or not. Ye old Call of Duty games used to make all objective and interactable items bright, solid gold. Sticking with the GTA franchise, we all remember that weapons and items would hover above the ground with bright-colored halos. Not the most realistic of ways to let us all know we can use them, but we hardly played the old GTA games for their realism. Mainly just arcadey style fun. I still have some of the San Andreas cheat codes committed to muscle memory. Those were the days. GTA 6 won't have weapons and items floating in the air like consumable power-ups. A shame, really, but with Rockstar's commitment to more realism, it makes more sense to leave weapons where they fall. Instead, they will be depicted with a red outline when the player approaches within grabbing distance. This will let the player know that the item they are looking at is indeed lootable. Not very realistic, but alas, in all practical sense, there needs to be a way to tell the player, hey, you can pick this up. Florida is a tourist trap, and so is Vice City. Despite the current Floridian governor's best efforts to turn Florida into a book-burning Gilead, the Sunshine State not only takes the prideful place of God's waiting room, it is also a hotbed for tourism. Miami and Disneyland are a consistent draw for out-of-state visitors to the only state in the union that seems to get more south the further north you go. GTA 6 will emulate this with the inclusion of tourists in popular spots that have been built to reflect their real-life counterparts. It's doubtful there will be a Disneyland, though, as that's actually located in Orlando, not Miami. This is all part of Rockstar's plan to expand upon and diversify NPCs and their behavior. We may even see some tourists speaking different languages and not really understanding what's going on. A gun-toting lunatic running rampant in the streets may just seem like part of the American experience to them. There has even been a leaked little line of code that suggests some unfortunate tourists have gone missing. Another murder mystery to solve, or just some poor souls who got too close to a gator? You'll have to find out when you get your hands on the game. Either way, including tourists into the gorgeous beaches and hotspots of Vice City is just another step into building an immersive world for us to explore. You can steal from pretty much anywhere. Who'd have thought that a game about being a career criminal would include the ability to steal things? GTA's namesake is essentially the crime of stealing cars, but there is going to be more to it than just taking cars. Although that act in itself seems to be dramatically improved upon and given a bit more complexity. During your free roam time, if you're feeling a little strapped for cash, you will be able to stop almost anywhere. Be it a convenience store, a gas station, gun store, diners, souvenir shops, etc., and rob them blind. Beware, viewers. The NPCs who work in these places will remember you, and so will the robotic eyes of the CCTV cameras. So, pick and choose your targets carefully, lest you be subjected to the long dick of the law. Do you like trams? Do you enjoy taking a break from having to operate your own mode of transport so you can doom scroll on your commute? Or watch YouTube videos about your favorite gaming franchise upcoming release? Well, you're going to have plenty of options for getting around in GTA 6. A fully functional tram system will be available for you to travel on, giving those pedal feet a nice break. The tram system even appears to connect to the airport in the same manner that its real-life counterpart does, so you won't need to drive there before stealing a jet. Other modes of transport include boats, helicopters, planes, swamp hovercraft, pedal bikes for all you health nuts out there, and of course, cars. Needless to say, you're going to be spoiled for choice in how you get around in Vice City in GTA 6. There's also nothing stopping you from using your own Chevrolets, but that might take a lot of time. Your characters are alive. In a sense, anyway. Your character's hair will grow if it isn't taken care of. They will gain or lose weight depending on how much they eat, and exercise will determine their strength and stamina. As Lucia and Jason, you can fulfill your fantasy of achieving couple goals by going to the gym and working out together, while you yourself sit at home in your underwear, playing video games and eating instant ramen. Don't be ashamed. We've all done it. Time enjoyed isn't time wasted. Like in Red Dead Redemption 2, dirt, blood, and sweat will appear on your clothes as you go on about your criminal business. A new addition to this mechanic, however, is that your clothes in GTA 6 will degrade over time. You won't be able to stick to one simple outfit, as it will begin to look ragged and worn out. At least this will give you an incentive to spend those hard-stolen bucks on some new threads. Stop resisting. You will get the chance to be able to surrender to the police peacefully, provided you didn't just start shooting at them immediately as they arrived. We aren't exactly sure how this game mechanic will work out. You might get the chance to play as the other protagonist to break the captured one free. You may get a smaller sentence and reduced amounts of money that you'll lose. What you will definitely be able to do, though, is hide your weapons and loot in a location for you to return to later, once you're out and the heat has died down. It may turn out that you can surrender to the police, and in the confusion and chaos, they may just mistake you for an innocent bystander with no weapons or loot to speak of. Returning for those weapons and stolen goods later on, or even having your partner in crime grab them and go while you cause a distraction. Adding to this, don't lose your stuff. Remember in Red Dead 2, where you could get into a good old bar brawl and your hat would be knocked off immediately as soon as you took a hit, or tumbled into the dirt outside. The same thing will be true of your GTA 6 protagonist when they get into scraps with the law and other NPCs. Hats, glasses, clothing, weapons, and all these can either be dropped intentionally or be lost in the fray, so make sure to pick them up if you don't want to lose them. Even if your handgun gets kicked out of your hand and slides way across the room, you will still be able to get back on your feet and pick these items up individually. If you have the drop on someone, make sure you pull the trigger before they can disarm you. Don't forget your sunscreen. There is an option to apply sunscreen to your characters or tell them not to forget it. Living in the Sunshine States, it would be a pretty obvious thing to have, but it is a really cool little detail to include in the game nonetheless. Similar to hair growth and clothing degradation, this could affect how tan or even burnt your character gets after being exposed to the sun for extended periods. Lucia, being a Latina chick, may tan a nice golden brown, while Jason might get himself a lovely tomato tan if he doesn't put on his sunscreen. As this writer can certainly attest to, when his Californian Latino wife tans like a goddess, but his pasty white body turns to a scarlet vermilion when he merely leaves the house on a slightly overcast day. Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games, including an entire animal kingdom. Hierarchy, food chain and all, the animals in GTA 6 will play a larger role in creating a living, fleshed-out world that can truly come alive. They will hunt their prey, fight each other over territory, and the big ones may even try to eat the player themselves. You can also hunt them yourself, and this could be a part of a similar feature to RDR2, where unique animals could be hunted to unlock wearable items. Bees will also feature in the game. Wild hives as well as captive ones can be found around the game world, so let's hope that neither of the main protagonists are allergic to bee stings. Car radios will keep playing if you leave the engine running. When you exit a vehicle, it's unclear if you'll be prompted to turn the engine off or not. It could be similar to previous GTAs where, depending on how hastily you got out the car, the engine would stay running. Bringing the car to a complete stop before getting out would cause the protagonist to automatically turn the engine off, unprompted, whereas jumping out of the vehicle while it was still moving would leave the engine running. What is clear, however, is that the radio, if it's turned on, will continue to play as long as the car is still running, adding a little bit more of a realistic detail to how cars in real life work. Yes, it sounds silly, but if you leave a car running, its radio will keep playing. So, there you have it. A few little hidden details that don't quite make the headlines but are still fun additions nonetheless. Testaments to Rockstar's obsessive attention to detail when building their immersive living worlds. If you enjoyed this video then, like the romance you will be able to cultivate in GTA 6 with the lines of coded dialogue, you can essentially caress the YouTube algorithm into romancing you with the content that you want to see. Gingerly, brush that like button with your cursor. Touch that subscribe button like you mean it. Give it what it wants. Daddy, and be served the content to please you.